in the future.
Win free airtime with hashtag #LearnOn1. Share your comments on the lessons. SMS your feedback, name and town to 555. Hashtag #LearnOn1. Invite learning in.
International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening and welcome to Today on One. I'm Isai Sipunga. In the news tonight, Sputnik vaccine does not cause HIV, says Shangula. Namibia receives an additional 124,000 Pfizer biotech vaccines. Ben Africa and MTC prepare to host 20th annual conference in Swakopmund. I lost my vision but found my purpose, says Nawa. Good rains to have a positive impact on farming sector. And Roundup, Business on One, Comments Corner, Sports, and the weather. First up, the Russian Sputnik V COVID-19 vaccine does not cause HIV, according to Kalumbi Shangula, the Minister of Health and Social Services. However, the minister advised people who had already taken the vaccine to wear condoms when having sex, citing research from the South African medicines regulator that alleges that men who received Sputnik V are more likely to get HIV if they're exposed to it.
The vaccine itself does not cause HIV. Sputnik vaccine does not cause HIV. What is alleged is that if you have taken Sputnik 5, you are at higher risk of contracting HIV if you engage in unsafe sexual activity. Only if you engage in unsafe sexual activity. Otherwise, there is no problem.
Following the Ministry of Health's recent announcement that the Sputnik 5 vaccine would no longer be used in the national vaccination rollout program after a South African drug regulator warned that men who received the vaccine are more likely to contract HIV when exposed to it, Today on One spoke with Kalumbi Shangula, the Minister of Health and Social Services, to learn more about the latest developments on the Sputnik 5 vaccine.
The questions come. What happened to Namibians who have already taken Sputnik 5? As I mentioned, female will not be affected. And as for men, we simply reiterate the message we have been saying since 1986 when HIV was first diagnosed in Namibia. That is, do not engage in unprotected sex. Whether you have taken Sputnik 5 or you have not taken Sputnik 5, your chance of getting HIV infection is the same. So therefore, we still continue with the same message that when you are engaged in a sexual activity, if you are not sure of the status of your partner, use always the condom. And that is the message we are giving to the public. However, as I mentioned earlier, we continue to give component 2 of Sputnik 5 for those who have already taken Sputnik 1. And we'll announce to the public when we are going to resume the full offering of Sputnik 5 to the Namibians.
The delay or refusal to take the COVID-19 vaccine has impacted the effectiveness of the vaccination campaign in Namibia, according to a World Health Organization survey on adherence to COVID-19 public health measures in Namibia. A third of respondents said they were unwilling to get vaccinated due to safety concerns. Today on One also went out on the streets to find out how the public feels about the government's vaccination rollout program.
Well, I feel like the government should be transparent about the vaccine. That way the people would know, instead of like the side effects that are popping up and influencing people's choices. If the government was already transparent, told people that the vaccine had risk and side effects, the people would have known and they would have made the correct choice.
A lot of people are already not confident, you know. It's like it's already a skeptical situation getting vaccinated, you know. Yeah, it does this and you do that. And now there's this one that rolled out, apparently it has HIV and all that. So if anything, people's confidence is just depleted, man. They don't really want to get it, even less now.
I feel like the government is also failing the public on informing them about the vaccine, because they are just putting posters out there, get your free vaccine and get $50 airtime from MTC. I saw that in the newspaper. I feel like they're not really telling us, they are not giving us like factual information on why we should take the vaccine, which vaccine to take, and why we actually really need the vaccine.
According to the World Health Organization, many of the COVID-19 vaccine studies have included a small number of people living with HIV in their trials. Despite limited data available, information suggests current WHO recommended COVID-19 vaccines such as AstraZeneca, Oxford, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Pfizer-BioNTech, Sinopharm and Sinovac are safe for people living with HIV. The health minister further encouraged people who are HIV positive to get vaccinated.
People who are HIV positive, they are also strongly advised to get vaccinated, because currently we have a remedy which prolongs life. We can treat HIV when it progresses to AIDS, and a person can live longer. But if a person is HIV positive and is not vaccinated, again the progression of the disease is rapid and fast and may also lead to death. Therefore, anybody with a comorbidities is strongly advised to get vaccinated.
The Ministry of Health received 15,000 doses of Component 1 and 15,000 doses of Component 2 of the Sputnik 5 vaccine, which was donated to the country by the government of Serbia. According to the Health Ministry, 108 doses of Component 1 and 7 doses of Component 2 of the Sputnik 5 were administered. Shangula also said that, so far, more than 300,000 Namibians have been vaccinated through the National Vaccine Rollout Program, and he assured the nation that all the available vaccines, except for the Sputnik 5 vaccine, which are offered at various vaccination sites in the country, are safe for the public.
Get ready to enjoy Simba's sounds of flavor.
All the Simba flavors. Let's roll. Liza, smoke beef. Kwanga finiga. Shaya chocolate. Shakita mat.
Together we roar because Simba roars with flavor.
Hi, welcome to the program. I'm Debula. So let's get on the road with this. Having someone who likes what you like can be great. It gives you something to chat about and share with each other, yeah? But what if you both want to be at the very top of what you're doing and your main rival is your brother? Can you imagine?
Mount Nyiragongo, located in the Democratic Republic of Congo, is one of the most active volcanoes in the world. It's found in the Virunga Mountains and located 6 miles from Goma. So what caused Mount Nyiragongo to erupt?
This is Women in African Music virtual exhibition. It was created by the British-Nigerian documentary photographer Michael Tubes.
Women in African Music exhibition is about celebrating women behind the scene and women performing on the stage.
It's Bucky season!
It's Bucky season at OK, where everybody's rushing for the chance to win a Bucky, fully loaded with groceries every week. Just buy any of our participating products and swipe. Plus, get Rick Coffee for only $64.99. Cremora buy 2 for just $59.99, and McCain Garden Mix All Country Crop for a low $29.99. Don't miss this Bucky season, only at OK. Owners you can count on.
As part of the Biden-Harris administration's global effort to fight the COVID-19 pandemic, the U.S. Embassy announced a donation of 124,000 doses of Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccines, in addition to the first consignment of 100,620 doses received in September.
The U.S. government, leading the global fight against COVID-19, has today donated 224,620 doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine to Namibia.
But we must not be complacent. There are still people who are not vaccinated who think they don't need to get vaccinated, that COVID-19 is gone. Sadly, COVID-19 has not gone. Namibia may still experience some very challenging times ahead. As the Northern Hemisphere moves into winter, people are bracing themselves for more difficult times as we see case numbers rise, including in the United States, possibly due to another variant spreading rapidly through the population. The wonderful story, though, is that people who are vaccinated are far less likely to get seriously ill, be hospitalized, or die. In the Namibian winter of 2022, we too may experience more spreading of the virus. We want to have a wonderful story to tell that people are not getting seriously ill, being hospitalized, or dying. But we can only do that if people get vaccinated.
Namibia has also received a donation of medical equipment from the Kingdom of Thailand, consisting of 4 units of auto-continuous positive airway pressure systems and 50 portable suction units. Minister of International Relations and Cooperation at the handover occasion called on Namibians to avail themselves for vaccinations, encouraging continued adherence to COVID-19 protocol.
We are seeing in other parts of the world, particularly where the winter is falling in, the cases are increasing. And if our own experience is something to go by, our last wave occurred in our winter season, which is June, July. So therefore, we should not be misled by the dropping in the cases, but rather to remain vigilant and to make sure that we comply with all the COVID protocol as if we are still in the wave. Particularly the wearing of the mask, washing our hands, and maintaining the social distance until our Minister of Health and Social Services advise us differently. Most importantly, we call on all Namibians and all living in Namibia to make themselves available for vaccines. Now that we have different types of vaccines in the country, that gives us a peace of mind to choose which one we think we can go for.
The United States government, together with COVAX, the World Health Organization and UNICEF, is targeting to deliver 1.1 billion vaccine doses worldwide, having thus far donated 200 million vaccines globally.
Namibia will be hosting the first ever annual conference organized by Ben Ethics Network of Africa and MTC on November 4th and 5th, 2021 in Swakopmund. Ben Africa is a pan-African organization that promotes business ethics. Since its inception almost 22 years ago, the organization grew from strength to strength and has members in many African countries, says Esha Luanda from Ben Africa's advisory board. Namibia will be hosting the event for the first time.
It's taking place under the theme Inclusive and Principled Businesses, Ethical Values and African Stakeholders. So the underlying idea is to get Africans together that have a shared value of promoting business ethics, because without good business ethics, you're not going to have sustainable businesses. It's shown that unethical businesses tend to go down under faster, whereas businesses like MTC that promote value have a better growth trajectory.
According to Luanda, for a company to sit on the stock exchange, it must practice business ethics, not only in strategy, but operations as well.
The organization is listing, and some of the key requirements for a listed company is to make sure that you practice ethics beyond a code of ethics that gathers dust on your shelf. So it would be required that you integrate ethics not only in your strategy but in your operations as well.
MTC and other entities like the Capricorn Group will participate in the conference as well. Chief Commercial Officer at MTC, Melvin Angula, says apart from being the most admired brand in Namibia, they strive to become the most valued.
One of the things that we have gotten involved in, us being the main sponsor, it speaks part and parcel in terms of what we're currently doing that right now, and that's us listing on the stock exchange with our initial IPO that is currently in place. This is the reason why we have embarked in this journey with this type of initiatives, and we hope to see other stakeholders to also take on the same path. Over the past 2 consecutive years, we have been voted the most admirable brand in Namibia, but we want to change that to become the most valuable brand in Namibia based on exactly the criteria that Ben conference is going to speak about.
The event will also focus on whistleblowing and the treatment of whistleblowers. Capricorn Group's Melise Horn says it's a crucial aspect of business ethics.
I'm specifically happy to see that the breakfast that we are sponsoring will focus on whistleblowing. I think it's a very important aspect in society, and there are a number of case studies. But most recently, I think it was Facebook. So whistleblowing as a concept, I think we need to give more airtime to.
BAN Africa's 20th annual conference is taking place next week, Thursday to Friday, in Swakopmund. It is open to businesses and individuals for $275, which is equivalent to 4,000 Namibia dollars.
Pep's got denim for the whole family at unbeatable prices. Like for babies, only $59.99. For girls, at $69.99. Men's for only $169.99. And ladies, just $129.99. Get more in store. Life's better with Pep.
Early this morning, woke up holding my head, hearing my heartbeat all night long. Shades of this motel keeping me in bed, reading the news, just trying to stay strong. I need to just get up, take a deep breath, keep it together, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Sun on my face, feeling okay. Don't let it get away. It's a beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day.
In December 2020, 28-year-old Simalumba Nawa was 1 semester away from graduating computer science and was about to be a father when he started to lose vision in his right eye, and in January 2021 lost vision in both of his eyes. Since he became visually impaired, he has since taken up mentoring and motivating youth in the same condition.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
What happened to me began in December. I gradually started losing vision in my right eye. So upon realizing this, we then went to the hospital and they had to admit me immediately. They had said that I had a retinal detachment, and there are various factors that can cause this. So immediately got put on treatment, but unfortunately the treatment wasn't successful. So gradually through December to January, I lost vision in both eyes. So right now I am currently visually impaired, but you know, and the doctors also said that medically there is nothing that can be done in terms of surgery or further treatment. So at this current moment in time, we're just treating and managing the situation to make sure that it doesn't get worse.
Local humanitarian Simalumba Nawa says that God, family and friends has been his pillars to turn his situation into something positive. He has worked very hard to accept his condition and decided to dedicate his time to assist and change the lives of others through motivational speeches and mentorship.
I was studying. It was actually my final year. I had one semester left to graduate. So when this happened, that also had to be put on hold. At the time, I was very active. I was a very active person, you know, going for jogs, going to the gym. Yeah, just the freedom of movement is something that I really enjoyed, and I liked being active. So, and then at the same time, you know, my girlfriend was also expecting our first child. So many things happening at the same time. It literally changed my life completely. Like, I had to redefine how I'm gonna be an active and present father. I had to redefine how I'm going to be a good partner and help where I can. Just, you know, find different ways and adapt to the situation and make the most out of it. In terms of the mentorship and the foundation, I was actually invited just to go and speak at that event and share my story with at Tulonga Foundation, and it just so happened that the conversation was so fruitful, and we managed to create a safe space with the kids so that they would, you know, open up and share their stories. So through that, the organizers of the event decided that no, I should pick a mentee to help mentor and mold and support and whatnot. And funny enough, her name is Fefa, and she is also visually impaired. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I'm like, definitely. I just need to, you know, it's a situation that we both can relate on, and I understand what she's going through, and she also understands what I'm going through.
Nawa added that when he became visually impaired, his other senses became very sensitive, which assisted him to adapt and use his phone through a voice command feature that allows him to type and send messages.
Other senses become extremely sensitive. So my hearing, my feel, my touch, my taste, the smell, everything is so sensitive. So there's also this thing that the doctors told me about, it's called spatial awareness. Because I've lived here for such a long time. Mentally, I have like a map of the house, so I have an idea where everything is. So while I'm walking, I literally, as time went on, as I'm navigating my way through the house, I learn where this is, and you know, it's like a sixth sense. Like, I don't know it's there, but I know it's there. You know, so and with my phone is I have an iPhone, so it has this feature called a voice command. So what it does is that when I touch on the screen or when I touch an icon, it gives feedback. So it speaks back to me. Say, for example, I click on the WhatsApp icon, it will say like WhatsApp, and then I double click to activate it, and then, you know, The easiest way for me to explain how I navigate my phone is Tinder, the app on Tinder where you swipe left and swipe right. Literally, for me to scroll down on whatever is on the screen, I just swipe to the right, and then to scroll up, I just swipe to the left, and then to enter or activate, I just double tap.
Nawa himself, with the assistance from his family, is actively exploring options on how he can complete his studies. In the future, he hopes to enter into public speaking and workshop venues to be a driving force behind the youth and encourage them to never give up on their aspirations.
The country is expecting to receive normal to above normal rains this season. The central bank said that it is monitoring the developments and how the good rains could boost the agricultural sector.
The Bank of Namibia at a recent event pointed out that the heavy rains come as a relief to the farming community as it signals a good season ahead.
It is important that we then look at ways in which we can increase agricultural production. A number of the people are going into crop production, and which is actually very important for us to ensure food security. So with that, we are looking forward actually to the good rainfalls, that it will have the positive impact on both livestock as well as crop farming.
The governor said agriculture will be among the key sectors that will contribute towards getting the economy out of a slum state.
If we get good rains, as Joseph is saying, Florette is going to discuss now, and if we can vaccinate adequate number of people and get herd immunity, I can tell you the forecast for 2022 is 3.4% growth. We could, as a nation, get out of this and get to that point. I know because of the time that we are going through today that many people are probably despairing. It's understandable, but as leaders, we are dealers in hope. We need to constantly give people the hope through the policies that we are taking, through the actions we are taking, and the actions that are being taken is probably not communicated enough, but we are ensuring that 2022 is going to be a better year.
The governor was speaking at the monetary policy announcement on the 20th of October.
If God be anything, He should be everything. Strength provider, the architect of every ring. Experience Daniel, see the face of God and live.
I pray to God for my enemy. Why you ready? Why you baby? Wanna baby? Insta baby, Insta baby, Insta baby. Why you lying? Everybody shake what your mama gave ya. Everybody move what your mama gave ya. Everybody shake what your mama gave ya. Everybody move, yeah, lost, fuck.
You are now watching the V10 Countdown.
I think One Africa Television has been a maverick of creating space for local content producers and artists as well, availing a platform for them to showcase their talent. They went out of their way to really embrace the Namibian culture, and that is something that I take my hat off as an artist and also as a producer. Happy birthday, One Africa, and may you keep doing the do's.
In other leading stories, the Ministry of Mines and Energy has announced that after completing the fuel price review for the month of November, resolved to adjust the prices effective the 3rd of November. The Land Ministry increased the petrol price by 50 cents per litre and the diesel price by 70 cents per litre. The fuel pump prices in Walfish Bay will become 40 Namibian dollars 95 cents per litre and 40 Namibian dollars 88 cents per litre for petrol and diesel respectively. The ministry noted that even though the prices for fuel are facing an upward trend, the government, through the National Energy Fund, will cover the under-recoveries recorded for the month of October on behalf of the consumers through the fuel equalization levy. This would amount to 120 million Namibia dollars. The Namibia Qualifications Authority says that their office has been inundated with requests for urgent evaluation of qualifications. The NQA says as a result of this practice, qualification holders often miss out on employability and access to training opportunities. According to the authority, most employers now demand an evaluation report during the recruitment process, and training providers also request prospective students to submit the same report that comes from the NQA. They say submitting one's qualification for evaluation at the last minute does not afford the NQA ample time to complete the applicant's application for the evaluation of qualification. The NQA evaluates qualifications to give definition and value to qualifications, to compare it to the Namibian system, and to verify the authenticity, legality and validity of the awarding body and qualification. Annually, they evaluate about 7,000 qualifications, and the process takes on average 30 working days.
Are you a CMAS member? Did you know that should you need medical treatment, you have access to quality private hospitalization, guaranteed specialist treatment in private hospitals across Namibia with Complement Gap? Complement Gap is a complimentary product for CMAS members only, which covers the shortfall between what CMAS pays and private hospitals charge. You and your family have more than 2 million in medical gap cover per year at a very affordable price. That's not all. You also have access to emergency evacuation within Namibia and $10 million international travel cover for those unforeseen events abroad. Take the financial burden off your shoulders. Invest in your family's health. SMS GAP to 999 555 and we'll contact you. Terms and conditions apply.
Prevent cramps with Fabifarm's new MVA cramp stop. Developed to bring fast and effective relief from cramps in athletes, active people and senior citizens. Manufactured in Namibia, Fabifarm's MVA cramp stop contains a carefully selected blend of vitamins and essential minerals to prevent cramps, with a full month's supply of capsules. It's Fabifarm's new MVA cramp stop, your #1 choice in cramp prevention. Now available at all leading pharmacies countrywide.
Joseph Shifeni is standing by for today's Business on One and economic indicators.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Business on One. I'm Joseph Shifeni. The aftermath of COVID-19 related restrictions has had a big impact on the country's poultry industry as more players enter the market. As the industry expands due to a surge in demand for local goods, one individual supplying eggs to communities across the city happens to be a multi-talented award-winning musician, Mushe Ulenga.
Mushe Ulenga has not only been focused on his music career, but as an entrepreneur, invested in a poultry business years back that is now thriving. Business on One followed Mushe for a few hours this week to get a glimpse of his routine as he made his daily delivery of eggs to awaiting customers. For a few minutes, he took the time to highlight the challenges that he faces in the industry.
Well, the challenges, as much as we want to increase the production, the only challenge we have is the feed production, because feed keeps rising up and rising up and rising up. So that's the only challenges. Otherwise, if the feed was actually cheap, I'm sure a lot of women out there will have the poultry business. But the feed is the challenge currently. But the market is there, but the feed.
The poultry business has not only become lucrative for those involved, but also competitive, especially now in the pandemic, as more Namibians invest in egg production businesses. Mushe says the main thing that helps him to stay ahead and get quick customers is his own brand.
Well, what we do, my strategies, I just post on Facebook or WhatsApp groups, or I create a broadcast of all my contacts. Then I inform them what product we have and what special we have. So the news travel. That's my strategy of marketing. So that's how the people reach out there. And then sometimes also we do like the interview like this, and then people watch One Africa TV or they listen to other radio stations and so on. So yeah, that's kind of my marketing.
Mushe has a number of chicken farms, including one in Groothoop. A large tray of eggs costs between 45 to 55 Namibian dollars, and he does door-to-door delivery.
And that is all we have for you. Be sure to join us again next time, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages.
Dear teachers, we know all the hard work you put in every day to make sure our kids get the best education possible. It's also our goal here at One Africa TV's #LearnOn1. That's why we bring free quality supplementary lessons that are 100% Namibian, compliments of NMH's MyZone. Lessons include early childhood development programs and primary school lessons. These air on One Africa TV every weekday from 9 to 11 a.m. with repeats from 2 to 4 p.m. There's so much to learn with #LearnOn1. Invite learning in.
Time now for Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. A 42-year-old chief environmental officer from the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism was apprehended this week for fraud and forgery. The official was amongst 3 suspects who were caught red-handed attempting to purchase goods with fake documents at a local homeware store. Nambahu says it seems like our civil servants are suffering financially. Muyanga notes that he has a good job but engages in such activity, asking whether he can replace him. Johan says the government office park looks like a kuka shop, as everyone there is selling something. Zelna says he's a terrible parent for using his stepson to commit fraud. While Philip notes that he should not be given bail. And that's all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day, only on Today on One.
Oranjemund, established in 1936, from which point onward CDM, now Namdeb Diamond Corporation, provided every service, the schooling, infrastructure and entertainment required for the people of the town. The winds of change is blowing over Oranjemund, which is no longer a closed town.
This ship was commandeered by King Charles III, and he actually sent a knight to Spain to go and fetch some money from investors because they wanted to go and fetch some spices in India.
When we were kids, the mine delivered milk, bread, and black paper, black plastic bags for your rubbish, and cleaned your garden, did the maintenance of your house. You had furniture already installed in your house.
Time now for today's sports update with Castro Ulumbu.
Welcome to Sports on One. I'm your host, Castro Ulumbu. Upcoming amateur boxer Sylvanus Daniel, who is also an ambassador of the Harmless Care Center in the Korean Hub settlement, has vowed to assist vulnerable children in society, especially at the daycare center, through a charity boxing event. Today on One has more on this story. Hailing from the northern part of Namibia, Sylvanus Denzel decided to organize an amateur boxing event in order to raise funds for his friend's orphanage. According to Denzel, growing up in a less privileged home is what inspired him to come up with this initiative.
Few months ago, I saw this guy in the newspaper, which is now the Humble Care Center, where they feed vulnerable children, where they give free classes, you know. So I was like, oh, this guy is doing very well, man. And I'm here, you know. I'm an upcoming boxer. So I just said, no, I can, as a boxer myself, I can organize an event. We can raise funds, and then we can help him out with a solar panel. We can at least get him the water close by, and we can extend the soup kitchen for more than 150 kids, you know, because for now he feed more than 45 kids. So we can extend the soup kitchen just to be able to feed more children, to accommodate more children, and the school also just to make it beautiful, you know, just to look like, you know, it's for kids. As a youth, we are supposed to do these things to help, you know, to help empower the youth. Because me myself, I was abandoned. I was abandoned in a village, so I had to come, you know, to pull myself up and start boxing, you know, all that. School was not my thing, and that time is a government that used to give me, you know, to give me a school uniform. We didn't have bread on the table, so I know how it feels for vulnerable children on the street. I know how it feels, you know, to have no parents on support, you know. So as a youth, I decided to stand up, you know, to stand up my people.
With a vast amount of talent in the country in boxing, Denzel, an inspiring boxer, also decided to choose boxing for the charity event, as he believes their talents can be picked up from the event.
I want those kids, you know, to one day be world champions, you know. Put them in the academy, give them training, you know. As sponsors, I'm looking ahead to sponsors just to help me, so I can also probably just build a gym for these kids, start giving them classes, and then probably give them a proper facility for them to be living there while on training and all that. So this event is going to be amateur boxing, so it's just, there will be medals, you know, the kids there'll be like 45 or a maximum 45 boxers that will be facing each other, you know. So because I spoke to the Commerce Federation, so we came together. We're coming together just to host that event. There will be coaches. I'll be inviting clubs to join, to register their boys. So I don't think we are really going to choke on the in terms of people coming to pay on the gate. No, I don't think we're gonna ask that because it's a charity. Just people to have fun, come together, and raise funds.
The amateur boxing charity event will take place on the 12th of November, with the venue still to be confirmed. And that is all we have for you tonight. Join us again tomorrow for Sports on One, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages.
Thanks, Castro, for that update. Up next is the weather forecast.
A look at the weather forecast. First, an advisory from the Windhoek Met Office. Heavy falls will continue in the Otjozondjupa and Omaheke regions, spreading to the eastern part of the Karas region tomorrow. The Namibia interior partly cloudy and warm in the southwest and west, otherwise partly cloudy and warm to hot with isolated but scattered thunder showers in the Otjozondjupa and Omaheke regions, spreading to the eastern parts of the Karas region later. The coast partly cloudy and cool to warm, and the wind moderate to fresh southwesterly. Now a look at minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.
That's all we have for you. Do join us again for a repeat at 9:30 this evening, 6 a.m. and the Omnibus Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. From me, Isai Sipunga, and the rest of the team, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future. A hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM. Black sunrise, always gonna be a surprise, 'cause we don't know the way it's going to go, 'cause we can see the way it's going to be, 'cause we can see.
We're talking about COVID. Babaji, tell us about the day you found out you had COVID.
The day I found out I have COVID, it was a difficult day. I didn't understand how I got COVID, because I was always covered, I was always with my hand sanitizer. It came with my wife. And that whole day, I was thinking, what's gonna happen to me? I'm gonna survive. My kids, I was losing my tasting, smelling. There were some days I will test my taste buds and put like 4 or 5 chilies in my coffee. No ways. I didn't taste it.
So did you also lose your appetite in the process?
It was very funny. In the first week, no, I was chowing. Like I will wake up like midnight and make for me something. But after the first week, then the appetite was gone. When you go to bed, your body is also automatically switching off. And that's a dangerous time for COVID. It's like glass pinching you, cutting you inside your lungs. Then the heart was pumping like a rabbit pumps. You are losing a lot of fluids at night.
Is that through fever or what?
Yeah, it's through fever.
So have you experienced any side effects from having contracted COVID-19?
No, not yet. Maybe still coming, but not yet.
Your wife?
She was complaining about light head. It's an annoying headache. It's light, but it's annoying.
So basically you didn't take any prescribed medicine from the doctor to recover from COVID?
No, I didn't. The only thing I was using is aspirin for my blood not to clot. Because for some people, when your lungs are really, really infected, your blood will start to clot from the lungs, close all the airways. That's where we are passing. I'm smoking cigarette, and when you were a smoker and COVID in your lungs now.
So then after you found out, you both found out you had COVID, what did you guys do to protect the kids?
The kids move out from the house. The booties will come, then we will collect everything for them and just put for them outside. When they came, just grab the food and go.
So what was the biggest battle for you? Was it mental or physical?
Mentally. Mentally was the biggest battle. I'm actually an international movie maker, and my career was cut off. I couldn't put bread on the table. There were some days we have one meal for the day and went to bed. And that was hitting me in my mind. What if Blessing get corona now? Where am I gonna go? Who can I help? There were also some people depend on us in the rural areas. We couldn't help them. My future was black, dark, dark, dark. I couldn't even see that small light at the end of the tunnel. One day, my daughter decided, now, I want to see my father today. And I just told her, yeah, she can come. The first words was, Daddy, I was praying for you yesterday night. Don't worry, Corona will go back soon. And I was asking, from where? From Namibia? I said, no, not from Namibia, from you. And you are not looking good. And she was actually heartbroken. Until today, she hates Corona. From there, then I was like, oh, okay. If the smallest one is saying this, why am I not picking me up self and do the right thing and get rid of this thing? That's where I started to run, to practice, coming to my quiet place. And actually, the main thing that broke my heart during that time was there was no one. The time of COVID, there was no one.
So can you tell us where we are right now?
We are at my silent place. I call this place my silent place. I will come here when the COVID is hitting me like 120%. Looking at the ocean, then you will hear voices like, no, you don't belong here. Today, you don't belong here. Get up and go home. Some days, they will nurse you like, no, you will survive. Your future is a bright future. You must not give up now. Think about your kids. Think about the people around you. Even the wind will do that. Actually, you must meditate. The thing of COVID is, looks like COVID is afraid of the warmness and is friends with the coldness. So the whole time you are baking in the sun, it helps a lot.
So is that what you did?
Yeah, I did. I will do that twice a day. This was supposed to be a golden year for me, a very, very good golden year for me, but then COVID decided, no, this is not going to be your golden year. Everything was cancelled. We, the filmmakers, this year, from the international shoots, lost lot of money.
You've lost 3 family members. Is it all due to COVID?
No, not all due to COVID. First one, my sister. She was very close to me. She contracted COVID April, and she was in ICU for 3 months. The COVID damaged her lungs, and at the stage her lungs collapsed and she couldn't breathe without the machines. Her kidneys failed, her liver has failed. COVID is real. First of all, COVID is real. It's not a joke. Most of the people, they fall away from COVID regulations. Still early to fall away from COVID regulations. We must still go in line with those COVID regulations.
And how long did you say it took you to recover?
3 weeks, 21 days.
What must somebody do to change your mind from that negative perspective to that positive?
COVID, no job, it's very dangerous. There was one day I just decided I'm gonna take a rope, go to the jetty, sit around there, and after all I will hang there by the jetty. The time I arrived here there was no wind, out of nowhere, the ocean was like angry, and it started to get cold. I was like, but it was just nice weather. Then I sat down. Then the universe will talk with you, the wind, the sun, the ocean. That's the main thing of COVID. If you don't save yourself, no one will save you. And we must always appreciate what we have around us. That's the main thing in COVID. If you don't appreciate what you have around you, no, you will lose your head.
Smile, smile, smile. When you walk with me, I just want you to smile, smile.
My industry and what I've done with my hands in Namibia, it's going all over the world, and here you are, Papa G, you want to quit? Now, I'm excited for 2021. It's not gonna be the same like 2020 now. I'm back in the groove.
Give me food, clothes, water, and shelter. Nothing else, no matter. You're my moonlight in my oven. Let all my sins be forgiven. Happiness rain on me. Never let the children cry. Namibia, smile.
Hi beautiful souls, this is Nikita Winkler and I am here to share easy tools for stretching that you can do just about anywhere. This is a demonstration, so what's most important is that you take the time that your body needs in each position to release its tension. Let's get started. In this session, we will be massaging the feet using a tennis ball or anything alike. You can do this sitting or standing. So first I'm going to place the ball in the center of the foot, and I'm going to press into the ball to feel the foot open up. And then I'm going to start rolling the ball vertically from the inside of the foot to the center and to the outside. And I'm giving enough pressure to feel tension release. Next, I'm going to take the ball to the front of the foot, press into it, feel the ball of the foot